Hi darlings, welcome back to my makeup garden. It's Liz. So I am finally filming my fall palettes recommendations. So we're going to do that, but I'm also going to do a bonus 5 palettes that are for spooky season specifically. So these are palettes that I reach for when I want to do a spooky like eye theme or a makeup look for like actual makeup, like character makeup. So we're gonna do that. So let's start with the spooky ones because it is the shorter list. If you're new here, hi, my name is Liz. I'm a makeup enthusiast and I'm a big fan of indie makeup. I love indie makeup. So that's primarily what you'll see here. So let's get into the palette list. Now I do have one runner-up for each category because I wanted to include them, but I wanted them to be round numbers as well. So the runner-up for the spooky season palettes is actually the Unearthly Leather and Lace palette here. This would be a good one for fall as well. You can see all of the pans that I have in this. That's because this has been my panning focus for this last year. I'm wearing this color on my eyes today because I'm real sick. I'm real sick of this palette. I love it, but I've been using it religiously just to try to hit pan. These pans are a pain in the butt. They're so deep and it's great because you get so much product, but man, as somebody who's trying to like work it, it has been a chore. It has been an undertaking, that's for damn sure. So this is Unearthly Leather and Lace. This is a runner-up for the spooky season. I like greens and purples, pumpkin-y fall type oranges for that kind of vibe. So you're going to see a pattern of that, okay? So these are in no particular order, by the way. These are not ranked. I don't like to choose between my children, but they are some of my favorites. So let's talk about it. Color. This is by Color Story, by the way, specifically. So we have the Gourmand Girls and Doodles by the Bunny. This is the Nightshade palette here. This was their Halloween launch last year, I believe. And you see these grungy grays, this deep black. You've got pops of green, and then you've got purples here. This screams Halloween to me. But this shade here, which one's this called? Flowering. It's so special because it's yellow, but it also is green. And then just like, do you see? So this is a Halloween palette if I've ever seen one. But yeah, I found that having the light, like the light and the dark, you can kind of blend things out. You can create contour. There's a lot you can do with it. So that is the Nightshade palette by Gourmand Girls. So nobody should be surprised if you've been here before, if you've been here for one of these, to see this palette. This is the Nomad Cosmetics. This was their Halloween launch a few years ago, and actually they have re-released it now. So you have this one and their Ghost Town USA, which was last year's launch as well. So yeah, these are here. It's got this fun lenticular packaging. I'm not sure if the pans are the same size as this, but and then you have here, you have like those graveyard kind of purples and grays. You have a little pop of dark blue. Mine is starting to get hard pan. Like I said, this is several years old and it has been loved on. You have a nice little pop of pumpkin, but you also have some gold. And then this minty green I think is really fun in here. Let me show you. So now I do know that Nomad, they did update their shimmer formula in the newer one, but like I said, mine's older, but I still love it. But it's here. That's that one. You can see the difference between older shimmer formulas and newer ones. That's for damn sure, especially in indie makeup. But I still love this palette, and it is part of my Halloween list. So now I was kind of torn behind this. I tried to keep it one brand, like one palette from each brand, so that there's not like a whole bunch of overlap in each of my lists, okay? I did try to keep it that way. So this one is the Harvest Moon palette by Ensley Rain. And really it's the pumpkin orange in here that gets me. This pumpkin orange on the lid is really fun. Let me do that. It's just a really fun, deep, it's just really fun. I don't know why I've liked this Color Story so much. It's very grungy, but you have these really fun deepening shades and then like these real pops. Like there's so many fun things in here. And you guys know, I'm weak for greens, but you see that? Yeah, I know. It's really fun. Very shifty, very fun. So Harvest Moon is on the Halloween list because it could have gone fall, but I have a different Ensley Rain palette in the fall list, and you know, pick and choose. Pick and choose. Okay, so next is by BellaBeautéBar, and this is the Basic Witch palette. I confess, I've not played with this palette a lot. I think I've maybe used the purples once, but just look at it. It is a beautiful spooky season. I just think spooky, when I see this, I think spooky season. Now, I think a good alternate palette, if you have the Strange and Unusual palette by BellaBeautéBar, I think that would also be a great color story to use for spooky season. I just don't have that palette. So, but I do have this palette, and it is very fun and very witchy and very spooky, and I love that. So, yeah, BellaBeautéBar, Basic Witch. Like I said, friends, there's so many good palettes out there. Use the palettes you have. The purpose of this video is to remind you of palettes that you have already. It's not to sell you on other palettes. Use your collection that you have already. But if you can't not buy some of these, listen, I get it. I get it. I do love a good palette recommendation myself. The next palette I have used a lot for contouring makeup looks. When I did my, I went as the Papa Dinosaur from the show Dinosaurs last year for Halloween, or year before last. Here's a picture of it. When I did all of the contouring on a lot of my weird makeup looks, like character, I've done a lot of contouring and a lot of shading and a lot of detailing with the next palette. And that is actually Surge by BlendBunny. So this palette has grungy greens. It's got pops of neon. Like, I think this one, is it this one? Or maybe it's on the other one. But anyway, I've used this palette a lot. There's so many good colors in here for character makeup specifically, because you can create shading, you can create depth, especially if you're using those Mayron like paint sticks. Set those with a translucent powder first, and then go back in with an eyeshadow for detailing, for contouring, for actually bringing the character to life. This palette's great for that. These shimmers, they're fine, but they're not the shimmeriest. But the mattes in here are just really, really good for that. I've used this white a lot. This neon green, I can't believe I haven't hit pan in it. It's so close. But yeah, really fun. Great colors for that. And if you have it, use it, you know? Okay, so those are my Halloween palettes. Let's move into the fall palettes, okay? I couldn't decide which one should be the runner-up. Not gonna lie. So we have 11 fall palettes because I'm deciding to be that bitch. So the first palette we'll talk about, because it's on the top of the stack. Remember, these are not in any particular order, and that is Cozy Cabin. So this is by Simply Posh Cosmetics, and this was their launch. I think they launched the year before last, and then they came back out with it this last year. I picked it up last year. Does this not scream autumn? Like, you know, sans these two shades I think are a little bright for the season, but does it not scream autumn? Look at this color right here. Let me make sure wipe that off. Look at this color, okay? It's like gold and like peachy. Let's just, you know, when the light hits it, bitch. Right? I know. I get it. So I appreciate their formatting. They've got, you know, the two rows of mattes with the shimmers to break it up, lighter and deeper, and then shimmers to break it up. But you've got that little pop of like almost goldenrod orange. It's kind of an interesting orangey yellow. And then you've got bright pumpkin-y orange. You've got the burgundies and a little bit of greens here. I just think it's a really fun color story for fall. Obviously, you can use these things all year long, but this time of year especially, that just kind of resonates with me. Like, you can make your own pumpkin stuff all year long, but people want it in fall. You know what I mean? I feel the same way about oranges. So, next is a Christmas palette, but I think the color story lends itself really well to fall, and that is actually the Odin's Eye Christmas palette. Not Christmas Eve, but Christmas. So that's here. This broke the internet a while back, and you can see why, but I do think it lends itself really, really well to fall. You have those burgundies and orange. You have a dark color here. You've got a nice pop of gold and purple, and then some green. And I just think the grunginess, like there's some tones in here that are really pretty, like almost grungy looks, could be made with this palette. Like Swamp. Ah, the Swamp Witch me is so happy. But anyway, I think this palette lends itself well. They did re-release this. I know some people were getting it in their mystery boxes. I don't know if this is still available. It may still be. But if you got it for Christmas last year, then pull it out and use it for the fall season. Okay. The next is actually the BellaBeautéBar recently de-influenced palette. And along those same lines, this could have honestly been for spooky season. I think it would have been a great like accompaniment to that list. But I was trying to keep it one palette from each brand in the list so that it didn't become like too much, you know? Like this is not a video about just Unearthly Rain or just Unearthly. It's a video about multiple palettes. So this is recently de-influenced and just look at it. Look at the red. I want to swatch the red one, right? Let's just do that. Let's go right here. Let's go right here. Right? It's fun. It's almost orangey, but it is really fun. Here we go. The light's changing. It's becoming pretty like overcast. It's about to rain. But yeah, it's just really fun. But some of these like shifty shades, you can see their shift in the reflection. They're just really fun sparkles and then beautiful mattes. Their matte formula is really nice. Here we go. We'll just do that. Like just shifty, fun shiftiness. So that is recently de-influenced by BellaBeautéBar. BeautéBar, not Beauté. So the next one is kind of an expensive palette. I mean, indie palettes are expensive in general. And that is the Adept Cosmetics Sumerian Sunset palette. So the ombre packaging on this, bitch. So all of their pans are magnetic, so you can customize their palettes. But just look at it. Like, right? Like these are kind of neutrally. I would say even this could go on the neutral side of things. And then you have like a little bit of green, a little bit of orange. The shade that I got this palette for originally was actually this shade here, and it does crease on me pretty bad. It's gorgeous on the inner corner, but this shade does crease on me. But some of these others just really are just, this color here especially, they're soft, but like look at them, watch. Right? They're just like, I picked up a little too much on my finger, but you get the gist. Like their shimmers are just next level. But yeah, if you have this in your collection already, pull it out and use it. Look how pretty it is. Look at my finger. Oh, but like the autumnal looks that you can do with this, you know, yeah, good stuff. I know, like I said, that one's been around for a little bit too. So if you have it already, use it, okay? All right, next is a newer palette, not the newest, but a newer palette, and that's actually from Cosmic Brushes. This is her Neutrals palette. Listen, it's very fall. I don't think I've used any of these shimmers yet. I think I've just used one of these mattes. I think it was this one. I think it was this one. But anyway, very neutral color story. It's good for all year. Like I said, I haven't used it much. I think I've just used this matte and it worked great for me, but very neutral color story, that little pop of mustard yellow, and then you've got this orangey kind of bronzy gold, and then this like it's very, see, just very affordable as in terms of like indie makeup, and you get a lot of pans. There's 20 pans in here, so really nice, good for all year. But yeah, I can't wait to dig into these shimmers. I have not, I confess, done that. I've been really focusing on my panning project, and I hate it. But like, I also want to be done with it and like have that sense of accomplishment. So here we are. All right, so the next one is by Unearthly Cosmetics, and it's called Fall Magic. So you would think the color story would be great for fall, and you would be correct. It is fucking sexy. It is sexy, look at it. Especially this corner. That corner is my favorite in the entire palette. But then like this eggplant with this right here, these two colors together, with this in the inner corner, fucking get out of here. And this underneath, roasted and done. So absolutely gorgeous palette. Now one of these shades did crease on me. I think it was this one, but I can't remember. It might have been this one. It did crease on me, even with the palette, like a primer. But yeah, it's a very pretty palette, and the color story is perfectly suited for fall. So Fall Magic by Unearthly. Next, none of you should be surprised to see this. This is the Groovy Garden palette by Unearthly Rain. This is on pre-order right now. You guys know I'm not a big fan of pre-orders, but can we just, does it not scream fall? You've got all of those like stereotypical fall colors, like the mustardy, grungy yellow, the orangey browns. You've got like these deeper eggplant type shades. This one's a little bit finicky. But like, look at this right here. Let's just touch it, right? Oh God, where am I gonna put it? Okay, let's put it up here. Oh, we're just going across the knuckles, but do you see? Right. Not the best swatch in the world. I'm running out of room, frankly, but yeah, just really fun. Oh yeah, here we go. You can see it on there. Orange and then kind of shifty into green and gold. Yeah. Very, very pretty. Oh gosh. I've made some really pretty looks like with the antique-y kind of gold color here. Like this one, and then I think I had this one in the transition and this one in the crease. Very pretty, like antique-y gold. But yeah, Groovy Garden. Okay, the next one is a discontinued palette, but if you have it in your collection, please pull it out, use it, love it. And that is a Nomad Cosmetics Hudson Valley. This was their fall release a couple of years ago. Neutrals, oranges, reds, yellows. Autumnal. So I like to think of this palette in terms of like 9 pans. So perfect fall palette, a little bit more on the spooky side. But yeah, very pretty. Like I said, I think this one is discontinued. I was thinking about making this my panning project for next year. I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I am very tempted to make this my panning project for this next year at the end of next month. But we'll see. We'll see. I haven't quite decided yet, but this is the Hudson Valley Nomad Cosmetics. Okay, Gloomy Gardens. We only have a few left, okay? It's going to be okay. The next is by BattyBean Cosmetics. This is their Gloomy Gardens palette. This was their launch, was it last year? It was either earlier this year or last year, but I have been actually tracking usage on this because I wasn't sure how. You can see how many times I've used each shade because I wasn't sure how long it would take to reach pan on any of them, but this screams very like spooky almost, graveyard, beautiful bright green. Gosh, I want to swatch the bright green. Look, see it? Right? This is by Monica, who is M. Jones on Instagram. This is her brand. And like, just look at that. So, hold on, I have to put it somewhere. I'll put it on my hairy arm. Here you go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Even in my furry arms. Gorgeous. Hello, Inception Liz. But anyway, gorgeous color story. Yeah, absolutely love. So yeah, that's Gloomy Gardens by BattyBean. I think this is still available. I think it is. They kept it around, so. All right. Next we have, so you know, second to last palette. We have Obsession by Artitude Cosmetics. Now, if you have their Maneater Untamed, you could also use your Maneater Untamed palette. But this one is here. Kind of these muted kind of tones here. Nice pop of green, nice pop of purple. Just really fun things to play with. It's a very pretty color story for fall. My favorite pan format, 16 pans. Love. But yeah, so Artitude Cosmetics, their Maneater Untamed palette remains one of my favorite palettes. And I thought that that would be a good one for this, but this is their fall launch. So I wanted to include it because, yeah, it's very fall themed. But if you have Maneater Untamed, you could also use that palette as well. And last but not least, this is the Lunar Beauty Moonshroom collection here. So I don't remember when they launched it. I think they launched this earlier this year. It might have been end of last year. But forest core. When I think of fall, forest core very much comes to mind, and I think that's why I associate the greens with the purple and the even the like the mustardy kind of yellows, those mushroom type tones. That's what comes to my mind for fall, and then you have this beautiful little pop of like pinky orange there as well. But yeah, this pop of periwinkle, I love that about this palette. But yeah, these colors are just very conducive to fall. And like I said, these are in no particular order. They're not in any kind of ranking. It's just palettes that I think would be good for the season. And my dears, that is going to be it for my palette recommendations today. Tell me if you have any of these in the comments below and then what you're planning on using I don't put a lot of stock in seasonality of makeup. I wear makeup all year long in different colors, but sometimes I get in a mood and I just want like that quintessential seasonal palette. And these are kind of the things that I want to reach for when I'm in that mood. So I love your faces. Thank you so much for being here and for liking and subscribing and all that jazz. I appreciate you. If I've been a little bit absent, that's because I actually got a part-time job. So I have not figured out how to balance filming with that. But thank you for being patient with me. I appreciate y'all so much. I love your faces, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.